Hi everybody. We are now on the week beginning July the 15th. This is the first video of the week. And for this week, so we're now in module 2. So for this week you have to review my videos and with course status, questions and answers. Very important that you review these videos very carefully because I'm going to be talking about things that will guide you through your projects, and also I'll be answering questions in these videos that are critical for you to do well in the course. Also, by the end of this week, by 1 p.m. on Friday, the team leaders will post team members' information on courses Module 1 discussion board. That would be here. The Module 1 discussion board is where you're going to put information about your teams, and is also a module that we use for general information, sharing general information, such as here, for example, the information about your license if you need. Also, if you have problems using virtual desktop, that's the person to contact. And also for questions, right? So we had a question here. I will answer any questions that you post here. So module 1 is for questions and answers and general information. And here's where you're going to post information about your teams, not in Module 2. Module 2 is where you're going to enter your commentary. And also, this will have to be done by 1 p.m. on Friday of this week. So we don't have any questions here, but I received questions as messages, so I'm going to address those in a little bit. It's better if you ask here, because sometimes the messages they get mixed up with messages for other courses, so we end up not seeing them, and sometimes old messages get mixed up with new ones. So it's probably better if you put the questions here. And on Module 2, let me see, we do have one commentary, one question. I guess this was already answered, right, in a video. I think Siam Kumar told me already in a message that this was already answered in a video. So let me go to the messages that I received. I think they are all from Siam Kumar. So I guess we have one. At the end of the data analysis report, we need to attach the client organization letter in appendix. Is this necessary? Yes, it is very important. And the reason is what I'm saying here in the syllabus, right? So when you go up to the beginning, students are expected to complete a team project that is creative and likely to be successful in the real world. And I say this, and here I say each team must have a client to whom the project will provide real world value. This client will typically be an organization, and it is the client. So if you go to click on the report template toward the end, I'm very happy that you're already looking at the report and thinking about it. At the end, you need a letter from the client organization. This is very important, because otherwise, how can I know if your project was of value to a client organization, right? So that client letter is important, but not only that, I also ask for the person sponsoring the project along with mailing address and contact information, phone, fax, email. Why? Because I want to contact that person. I may not contact everybody, all the clients, but I want to contact, and I have done that in the past in other projects, because you're doing this project for a client organization, not for me. If I wanted to be the client organization, I would give you the data. So that's the challenge of the project, right? Now, this takes me to a very important issue. If you want to be successful as a data analyst, you have to learn a lot about the business you are helping with your data analysis. In fact, if you want to have a career as a data analyst, your career will probably be in a particular industry, if not a single company. And that's how you bring value as a data analyst, because by knowing the business, you will know really the tricks and all the things about business that can be improved with data analysis. If you don't do that, if you just think that doing model-driven data analytics or any type of data analysis is just about analyzing data, you're not going to be able to compete with machine learning. You're not going to compete with AI. Currently, generative AI and AI tools for data analysis, they don't have something that you have, which is semantic knowledge. You understand what things are. Generative AI and AI tools, they may give you the impression that they understand what they are doing, but they don't understand. They don't understand the meaning of things. They may give you the impression that they understand the meaning of things, but they don't. And this is the beauty of model-driven data analytics, because just to build a model that makes sense for an analysis and for an organization, so just to build a model like this, you do have to have semantic knowledge. You have to understand what job satisfaction, job innovativeness, organizational commitment, you have to understand what these things mean. And you also can know that they are important for the business that you are analyzing. So it's a machine learning tool or an artificial intelligence tool will not have that knowledge. So if you don't want to be replaced by AI, you have to have a very good understanding of the business. By the way, you can get data from so many different places. For example, Fred has tons of data. That's the St. Louis Fred. So let me go to this. This is something that I often check. But this Fred, economic data, this website has tons of economic data that would be relevant to, say, a bank or a branch of the Federal Reserve or many other companies that deal with financial analysis. They could be clients that would be interested in you analyzing data from Fred that would be meaningful to them. Also, you have Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance, you can get information about securities. So let's say, for example, the price of Oracle stock, right? So this time series data that you see here most likely is available to you as part of the data set. Let me just make sure that I'm correct. I'll pause a little bit and I'll be right back. Yeah, I just found what I was looking for. So I just paused a little bit, and now I'm back here. But what I was looking for is this historic data. So if you click on here, you're going to have historic data about Oracle stock, and then you can even download it. But that can give you lots of information. As I said, you need 300 rows of data. You can easily get way more than that just in these two websites alone. So here you can have stock data, you can have data on ETFs like the SPY. The SPY follows the S&P 500, so you have historic data here. So you have tons of data to analyze. It really doesn't, this is not the real challenge of this project. The real challenge of this project is to find a client that wants you to do analysis on data that they have, and that or data that is available online, but that the results of the analysis are of high importance to them. By the way, one way to choose client organizations is to do a project for one of the employers of one of the members of the team. So an employer of one of the members of the team, because if you do that, you already have access to the client organization, and you can find somebody that will be interested in data analysis, and you can get the data from them or from elsewhere, but you have access to them right away. If as a team you try to approach an outside organization, it's going to be a little bit harder. I've had teams in the past that have done that, and they did very good projects, but it's not as easy to do the projects. So this is something that I would recommend, that you work with a client organization which is an employer or one of the members of the team. That's one of the easiest ways to get access to the client organization. Now, going back to what I was telling you, so if you go, for example, to any company like Walmart, and you go to profile, you're going to see information about the key executives, right? And let's take, for example, Senior Vice President for Investor Relations, Executive VP, President and CEO of Sam's Club, so 2.3 million. So you can guess that this person here would probably be making $1 million a year in salary. This may even be an underestimation. The CEO, Doug McMillan, makes as pay 6.23 million. This may be an underestimation of what the person makes per year, because often you will have other forms of compensation that are not listed here, such as stock options. But the point that I wanted to make is that these folks that are in more generic positions, like the chief communications officer, let's say this person is making like 500,000 a year. This person specializes in this industry most likely because of the nature of the business. So I will bet that this person, it may not be the case, but normally this person would be a career communications officer that would have worked for other companies in the retail industry, like Target, AGB, etc. It's even better if that person has experience working with discount stores. So it will not be as common for somebody who is a public communications expert in Silicon Valley for a tech company to join Walmart, that can happen, but it's more common for you to find people who specialize in an industry to move around and then make a lot of money and get paid a lot because they know the industry. And that is what I was telling you before. If you want to be successful as a data analyst, you have to start doing a data analysis in a particular industry and specialize, because that's when you offer value. If you just focus only on data analysis techniques, you're going to be replaceable. Like folks that specialize, say, in programming, right, in coding, but don't specialize in a particular industry, they can be replaced by generative AI, which right now can develop programs of reasonable quality. But I can tell you right now that I coded WarPLS, the software that you're going to be using in this course. I coded every single line of it, and it's more than way more than 100,000 lines of code, and generative AI cannot give me all of that code. So because the code is maybe the user interface code it could give me, but the more algorithm related code it just cannot. Part of the reason is that some of the algorithms implemented there are algorithms that I developed and published. If you go to warpls.com and you look at and you go to publications, you're going to see a lot of publications that are they're either authored or co-authored by me, and some of them talk about new algorithms that have been implemented in WarPLS and other software. So generative AI cannot give me that just yet. Maybe in the future it will. I doubt though, because this problem of semantic knowledge has been around for a long time. It is a very hard problem to solve. There is science fiction that gives you more or less an idea of how you can solve that kind of problem. But if you solve that kind of problem, you may even solve the problem of mortality and other bigger problems. And I don't think we're as close to solving them as people think we are. So a long answer to a question, but I think it's important for me to make this point. So let's see other questions by Syam Kumar. I got the answer from the video that the data set should contain 300 rows. Okay, yeah. So 300 rows. And why is that? It's because p-values, they tend to be sensitive to sample size. So if you do an analysis with only 100 rows of data and you get results, if you get results that are kind of the path coefficients are lower, with a smaller sample size, the p-value may not be significant, statistically significant. In other words, the p-value may not be lower than 0.05 because of the sample size. So p-values are very sensitive to sample size. If the sample size is too small and 100 is quite small, you may end up with false negatives. So you may have a coefficient that would be significant with a sample size of 300, but with 100 it is not. And it is artificially not significant because you don't have enough statistical power in your analysis. So that's a term used in statistics called power or statistical power. And statistical power is directly proportional or directly correlated with sample size. The higher the sample size, the more power you have on the analysis. The more power you have on the analysis, the less likely you're going to commit false negatives. In other words, reject an effect that exists in reality as an effect that doesn't exist. The false negative is also referred to as a type 2 error. So let me stop here, and in my next video I will tell you a little bit more, either in my next or the other one. I'll tell you a little bit more about how you can find out more about your client organization. So let's say you have a client organization. It's a very good idea to find out as much as possible about them or about the industry that they're in case they're not publicly traded. Because a company that is publicly traded, in other words, like sells or trades stocks in the financial markets, like Walmart. Walmart is publicly traded, so there is a stock price, you can buy it, you can become a shareholder. These companies, they have enormous amounts of information available online about them. Now, private companies do not. So if you're dealing with a private company, say a private bank that is not publicly traded, what you can do is find out more about a competitor that is like them. And in that way you will learn more about them, and that is important that you do, even if you work for the client organization, because a lot of people think that they know their employer, but they don't until they start reading 10Qs and other documents that the employer publishes online, and then or publishes internally, and then they find out a whole lot more about their employer. Here at the university is a good example. There are a lot of faculty who don't know much about the university's finances, so they have pretty misleading or wrong ideas about, say, how the university is funded, how their salaries are funded, and arguably it's a good idea for them to know those things if they want to become administrators and contribute to the organization in the future. Students also don't know much about how universities are funded. Many students think that their tuition and fees fund the expenses, the costs of the university, for example, and the tuition and fees actually fund just a fraction of the costs of the university. Most of the costs are salaries. So tuition and fees for public universities like Texas A&M universities, tuition and fees fund a very small fraction of the costs. A lot of it comes from the state in the form of taxes that everybody pays, including the employees of the university, right? And also endowments, which are actually donations, and grants, research grants. They also are used to fund tuition and fees, right, through scholarships. So this is it. This is what I have for today, and thank you for watching, and until the next video. And thank you for your questions.